Good morning students and welcome back to LKME online classes. Student, today we are going to start our new chapter, chapter 5, our government. You know about Humayun, Akbar, Babur. These all are from same Mughal family. Their relation between them is father and the son. Every generation is passing the kingdom to their next generation, and people were following them. Earlier there was no democracy in our country, and people cannot elect their head. They have to follow the king, which is chosen by their parents, king's parents. They have to obey them. But now India is a democratic country. You know about country Korea. King Jo, he got his kingdom from his father, and now he is ruling Korea. People of Korea, they do not have right to choose their head or their king for their country. They have to obey King Jo. The responsibility of this kind of kings are very limited, because people are already obeying them, so they do not have to work for that. They just have to sit on their chair and take care of their kingdom, that someone cannot attack on them or someone cannot attack on their kingdom. This is the way they are using their responsibility and ruling the country. People do not have right to speak against them. So there is no chance to do anything in front of them. Now students, I am going to show you a video.
Rulers. Over the past centuries, India has had many great rulers. Their greatness is not just defined on the extent of territory they ruled, but it lies in the display of braveness, sacrifices, and contributions they made towards the development of their people. Let us know about some of the great Indian rulers who have left a mark in history. Krishnadevaraya. Around 500 years ago in South India, there lived a great warrior king, Krishnadevaraya, who ruled the Vijayanagar Empire. Being a scholar and poet himself, he encouraged art and literature so much that it came to be known as the golden period of Telugu literature. His court had the Ashtadikgajas, the title given to the 8 Telugu poets in his court. He wrote the classic Telugu poem Amukta Malyada. A kind-hearted king, he thought about the well-being of the people and built water tanks, canals, and dams for them. His successful trade relations with the Portuguese brought prosperity to his kingdom. Emperor Akbar. Around 400 years ago, the Mughal Empire was led by the third emperor, Emperor Akbar, also known as Akbar the Great. Akbar was just 13 years old when he became the king after his father Humayun. During his childhood, he learned horse riding, sword fighting, and hunting, and was thus trained to become a warrior. He established various departments under his administration. Rules were laid down for the efficient functioning of these departments. He appointed 9 scholars from various fields in his court. They were known as the Navratnas. His love for architecture and paintings can be seen in the great monuments such as the Fatehpur Sikri, Agra Fort, and Buland Darwaza, built during his rule. Akbar respected all the religions. His practices and policies encouraged a multicultural empire, because of which he earned the title of Akbar the Great.
So student, in that video we have seen how the kings were ruling India and how the democratic elected people are ruling our country. There is a vast difference in earlier days ruling kingdom and nowadays king. Earlier people were not having right to speak against the king, and nowadays people are having right to speak about their rights, their duties, or anything what is wrong with them. they can talk to Prime Minister or the superior power without any fear, because people elect them, not they are elected by themselves or their families. That is why earlier kings were having less responsibilities and now kings were having more responsibility. Now India is a democratic country. People are electing their members and they are giving vote in every 5 years. So the people are having right to choose their king or choose their prime minister or superior power. So as we know, India is the democratic country in which people choose government. Government is made up of the people, by the people and from the people. Anyone can be a part of government. Earlier it was not like that. A person who is from royal family, he or she can only be a part of government. Nowadays anyone can be a part of government, but he has to fulfill his duty related to public and country. If he or she is not able to fulfill their duties, public can remove it by electing another member for them. Now students, come to iConnect session. Monarchy is a system of government in which the throne passes from one member of the royal family to the same member of the royal family. How is India government different from monarchy? Right in the space provided. Do you know any kind of this family? Yes, we discussed that King Joe is from that kind of family, and earlier Mughal kings are from same family. But what is the difference in Indian democracy? Yes, in Indian democracy people are having right to choose any of their members. They can vote anyone without any fear, and it is not elected by one or two peoples, it is elected by the whole country. The people who are above 18 years have right to give vote to person who is in election, and they can give vote to any of party. No one can force them to give vote or to make king to the same family which was earlier ruling. That is not part of Indian democracy. Anyone can, who is not from political background, can be the president or can be the part of Indian politics. This is the way India is different from monarchy system. It is totally democratic country. People having right to choose their own member in politics. Student, come to iExplore session. In this chapter, we will be able to learn about the government of India, find out about the union and state government of India, explain about the judiciary of our country. As we all know, India is the largest democratic country in the world. But do you know the meaning of democracy? Democracy is a system in which the government of a country is elected by the people. But according to Winston Churchill, democracy is a bad system, but infinitely better than any of its alternative. Winston Churchill want to say that democracy is a bad option for any country. But if we are going to find out any alternative of this, so then it is a good option, because in this people are having right to choose their head for their country, to whom they want to give their country's authority and some powers. But it is bad also, because anyone is having power to stand in election and they can be a part of our country's government. So this is what the way one way it is bad and the other way it is good. According to William, many forms of government have been tried and will be tried in this world. No one pretends that democracy is perfect or all wise. Indeed, it has been said that democracy is the worst form of government except for all those other forms that have been tried from time to time. Means if you want to say that it is the baddest form or worst form of politics, but if we are going to see other form of democracy or other ruling kingdom politics, it is the good in every aspect. Except India, there are many other countries which are following democracy. Countries like Norway, Ireland, Sweden, New Zealand are following democracy. India is on 51 position in the list of democratic countries of the world. Now come to I read session of our text. India is the largest democratic country in the world. It has 29 states and 7 union territories. To govern the huge country, there are two types of governments: central government and state government. The Constitution of India describes the function, duties and power of both this government. So, as we all know, our country is having 29 states and 7 union territories. This all governed by the government of India. There are two governments. First, the central government, which are working for the whole country, and the state government, which is working for the particular state. The Constitution of India has described their duties, their powers and their functions, their work, what they have to do. This all work is explained in our Constitution, and each and every member of politics has to follow the Constitution.